Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Tip for IGCSE Mathematics. Today's topic is related to scatter diagrams and correlations. Without further delay, let's begin. Look at this diagram. So the term supply and demand may be something that you have already heard about. Manufacturers are more likely to deliver efficient services if they fully understand the connections between the demands of the customer and the quantity of goods that must be produced to make the best profit. Example, on a hot day, it can be frustrating to go for an ice cream and find the vendor has run out. Vendors know that there is a good link between the hours of sunshine and the number of ice cream they will need. A knowledge of how good the correlation, it will help them ensure they have enough stock to keep everyone happy. Let's look about introductions to Bivariate data. So far, you have seen how to summarize the data and draw conclusions based on your calculation. In all cases, the data has been collected of single measurement or observation. Now, think about the following problem. An ice cream parlor sells it good throughout the year, and the manager needs to look into how sales change as the daily temperature rises or falls. He chooses 10 days at random, records the temperature, and records the total takings at the tills. So the results are shown in the table below. Day A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, which means that for the 10 days, and temperature. So when the temperature at 4 Celsius, this is about Celsius, and the total taking on sales is 123. It shows that when the temperature is cool, the total sales, total sales is about 123. So when you see for the second day, when the temperature is up to 18, the number of total sales is increased. So you can see for 123, it's become 556. And on third day, where the temperature fall it back again to 12 degrees, and the sales also fallen from 556 to 212. And on the fourth day, the temperatures goes up 32 degrees, which is very hot. And then the total sales, making sales for that day is 657. And for the E, so 21 degree. So the total sales is about 401. And come for the sixth day, where the temperatures goes to -3, which is cool. And the demand for the ice cream on that day is only 23. And you see when it goes for on the seventh day, so where the temperature is 0, the total sales on that day is about 45. And for the on the 8th day, when the temperature becomes 10, the total number of sale on that day is 171. And on the 9th day, where the temperature is 22, the request or the total sales on that day is about 467. And on the 10th day, where the temperatures goes up to 31, and the total sales is also increased to 659. Notice that 2 measurements are taken on each day and are recorded as paired. This type of data is known as Bivariate data. You can see this data much more clearly if you plot the values on the scattered diagram. based on the data previously. So you can draw a conclusions of a bivariate data. Bivariate data means that correlations look at the relationship between two data, independent variables and dependence variable. So to draw a scattered diagram, you first must decide which variable is a dependent variable. So in other words, which variable depends on the other. In this case, it seems sensible that the total taking will depend on the temperature because people are more likely to buy an ice cream if it is hot. So the scattered diagram will have a pair of axes as shown below with the dependent variable represented by the vertical axis. If the data in the tables are treated as if they are coordinates, so the diagram begins to take shapes. So we have a temperature on the x-axis and we have the total sales on the y-axis. So when we plot the diagram, it's become a scattered diagram. Okay. Bivariate data, in examination, you need to identify which are independent variables or dependence variables. So notice that there seems to be a relationship between the ice cream sales and the temperature. In fact, the sales rise as the temperature rises. This is called positive correlations. So the trend seems to be that the points roughly run from the bottom left of the diagram to the top right. Had the point been placed from the top left to bottom right, you would conclude that the sales decrease as the temperature increases. So under these circumstances, you will have negative correlations. If there is no obvious pattern, then you will have no correlations. The clearer the pattern, the stronger the correlations. You have to remember this diagram. In examination, sometimes they will give you the diagram and they ask you to identify this type of diagram, what does it mean? So if this type of diagram, it shows the strong positive. And this is the weak positive. This is no correlations. Okay, this is weak negative and this is a strong negative. So when you see the amount of X is less, but the Y-axis is higher, but it's actually, the value is actually goes down. That's why it says that it's strong, but negative. It goes down, back. The same thing goes to here, whereby it's initially it goes up, sometimes it's go down, it go up, and then down back, and then goes up. So it's called it as a weak negative. And no correlations, you might see is as well. No, but weak positive, initially is become low, the points X and Y is low, but after certain times it's become up. That's why it calls weak positive. And the strong positive, that means starting is also not so low, and also Y also given the value is equal to X something, but somehow it's progressive and it goes up. You have to remember this, okay? This is the, I can say that this is the simplest chapters, okay, in this mathematics. With that, thank you very much. Remember, practice make perfect. The more practice you make, the more perfect you will get. That's all for this topic.